Hello, I am Jer. I suck at EVE Online, and I record videos on my little channel that help me out and maybe help you out, especially new players, especially alphas. I'm going to be an alpha forever, and today I wanted to talk about the map and specifically about EVEeye. I did not find a lot of good tutorials on how to use EVEeye.com, a third-party tool. It's a website outside the game that's excruciatingly useful. And to open it up, I don't want to spend a video saying why I think this beautiful map is impossible to use. All I know for sure is I hate using it. And if you also say, why could this be easier to use? And the answer is absolutely. Do these things that you click on have to be tiny? Does it have to move around? Do you have to think in 3D, which it looks great, but why? Why would the people of New Eden, right, ever use it like this? We don't have 3D maps in our cars. Doesn't matter what the terrain is like. Why would they? So EVEeye is an alternate vision of how we could think about the maps of Eve that I think is a lot more natural. I think this is what the people in New Eden would look at, and that's why I want to look at it. It's also just feels better and works better, and it's incredibly tied into the actual game in ways that I'll show you. But first, I just wanted to make a nod to Dotlan, '07 Dotlan. You did your duty over the years. It's an incredibly vintage website. It has a dark mode now, so that's nice. So we can see, here's the area I'm in right now with PC9, and we get 5D. But the point being that Dotlan and EVEeye fundamentally are doing the same thing, which is to take something 3D and force it flat. And the reason is because, for the most part, if you're not doing jump drive stuff, which most normal users probably don't get to for a long time, there's really no difference if everything is flat or not, because you use jump gates, and the jump gates are one gate at a time, and it doesn't make a difference. And so you can see here, PC9 over here, and the T22 is over here, there's different ways to interpret it. And EVEeye, I like the way it interprets it. I think things are spaced out in a nice way, and you can get a good vision of the whole sector, but then individual sections make sense. The thing to note is it's not the same, and so you have to get used to one or the other, so I like to use just one. Dotlan has a lot of other features I won't go into, but it is very useful to sort of dig down on different stuff, but just look at it. Wow, just look at that. So instead, we're going to talk about EVEeye because it also has some features that I don't think you can get with Dotlan, which is you log in. So I'm not going to do it because it's working and I don't want to break it. But basically, if you come to EVEeye by default, there's going to be, instead of my little character portrait here, there will be a button that says log in with EVE Online. And then you've been through that dance before, you log in, and now it knows where you are. It knows who you are, and it knows what's up, and it actually knows where you are. Like, I'm in the game, and I am in PC9, right? And we could see this whole little area around PC9, which is here. I'll click so carefully. Okay, PC9, right? And then there's this area. So if I come in here, it knows I'm in PC9, so it already knew that. And if it didn't, there's a button down here in the bottom left, here, this little target, and that will turn it on and off to go where you are. But more importantly, this one up here, location tracking. So I click on this, and bam, it's going to find me in the game and show me where I am. Now, you can also use it to set your course. So let's say I want to go to 5D where the ratting is extra strong. I right-click on it, and nice, big, beautiful letters, and I could say set gate destination. And see, now it draws the line, right, straight to it, and there's all these options in case you're not seeing the line. There's a ton of options, like display route is going to show the line or not. And set waypoints in game in the settings, and then route. Set waypoints in game is important because that's going to be what actually does it. Because if I go back to Eve, we could see my route is now taking me to 5D. Magic. It's witchcraft. And if I come in here and I change it and I say, no, I'm going to go to T22, set destination, it's going to automatically know, I think, should. Normally, it will figure that out based on me changing it that I'm going to T22 instead. I swear. So that's embarrassing for EVEeye.com. But definitely, if you do it through here, it immediately updates, and we can see that, right? And if I go and I say, okay, I'm gonna go, there's a whole bookmarks thing. I think it's here. Now, personal, wait, stored, no, jump range, star, okay, of course. The star is the bookmarks. There's a bunch of stuff up here I don't use that often. So let's say I'm gonna go to my home station in HiSec, Stackmon, set jump gate destination, and it knows the whole thing. And we come back here and we can see the whole rainbow of my journey towards Stackmon. It's also here, and we can come to the little, what's it called? Routing button here with the map thing and see all the steps that we're going to need to get to Stackmon. Isn't it incredible? And isn't it easy to use? So that's the core thing. I just think everyone should use this. I think EVE Online should buy this. And when you open the map, there should be an option that just says, make it look like this, because life is so much easier when you can just right click on things. You can also do all kinds of interesting stuff around creating a multiple step journey. So let's say I wanted to come to 5D, set gate destination, but I also want to visit AK, append gate destination, and then here, and then, yeah, so I could keep going and make a whole thing, right? Make a whole adventure out of it. The other things I can do, and I had the idea to go here and show you, because in another video I talked about this. So I'm gonna just go to Stackmon and double click. All right, so let's say I was in Stackmon. I'm not, but let's say I was here, and I wanted to do some low sec roaming, but I want to make sure it's going to be safe. Like I was doing some ratting and I wanted it to be safe. So what do? I come to Stackmon and I look around here to see, okay, so what I want is a 0.1 system, because that's the best rats, but I want one that's safe. Well, I can come and in the little square section, I think, no, not map selection, it's the circle. The circle, you could show what shows on the map at any given times. So, for example, the first one is node, and that's the actual boxes for each one. So right now I have it set to security, 0.3, 0.1. I feel that's a good default, that's what I expect. But I could say NPC pirates, and we'd see, oh, they're all Serpentis. Or I could say, in the activity, it uses the API. It's not always completely up to date, but it's pretty good. I could say recent jumps. See how many people have been jumping here. How many people have been killed here in the last 24 hours. Isn't that neat? So you can open this up, look at the section, and just say, okay, NPCs killed in the last 24 hours, or recent NPCs killed. So we can see, okay, these are the places where people are ratting versus recent kills. These are the places where people are actually killing. So we can see Ansu and Ostengeli might not be safe. 24 hours is a lot more accurate in my experience, because the recent kills, it doesn't update constantly. So it's not the most reliable. But anyway, I'm going to go back up to security for node fill, because there's an even better option under label. You can have all these same things. So you could have security, constellation, that's not very interesting. But most importantly, you can have recent activity last 24 hours, and recent NPC kill delta. I don't know what that one is. This one is weird. But activity last 24 hours and recent activity are both incredible. And so you can see, if we look at Stackmon, it has all of them. And so we can get a sense of it. K is the number of player kills. So that's places with lots of PvP. P is pods. So not every place is going to have all of them. So you can see there's empty space. Pain never seems to have anything going on. N is NPC kills, and J is jumps. So by coming here to the label and setting it to activity, recent activity, or activity last 24 hours, we can get a really good sense of how dangerous, how active, if we're looking for fights, or if we're not looking for fights. Either way, we can really quickly get a vision of what's going on in all these places. That, I don't know, maybe there's a way to get all that information here, but how would it even work, you know? I'm so glad that EVEeye exists, because for my brain, this is way more effective and way more pleasant to use. So there we go. A couple other things. We could see the sector under tag. There's some interesting stuff where if you put tag in, it gives the little boxes on the actual things. So here it says station services. And so this way I could see what's available. And there's if you go to the documentation, if I click on this, no, you have to go to the help and look at this help. Oh my God, I love this. This is a kind of open source documentation things. So if I just come here and type station services and hit enter, it's going to find it, extra tags, and it says station services, shows which crucial NPC stations are available within a solar system, and see this shapes section for further explanations. And that's because in here, under shapes, that's where they've documented carefully what is available. So we could see cloning, repair, factory research. So in my case, what I wanted was to make sure I was in a system with repair so that I would know that I was safe to get damage. And actually what it sort of taught me was, okay, every single station in this whole area, even Payne with its very limited stuff, has repair available. But maybe you wanted one of the other ones, if you were hoping for factory or research, really incredible way to get so much information so quickly and as little as you want, because you can come back and just say activity none, right? If you just want it clean, or you just want to have security and then have something else on the actual things, the amount of configuration here is really mind-blowing to me. And then, right, watching your path, showing your jump range. That's jump range, yeah, and that's the whole thing. And I'll actually take a second to say what my settings are that's getting me this effect. So I'm going to come back here to the circle. I'm going to put my label as activity last 24 hours because that's my default. I'm going to come to settings here, which is sort of a weird settings icon, but for sure, so I'm just going to go back to myself by unclicking and clicking this. So for sure you want to display route. I don't know why I had it turned off, and that was a bad idea. You definitely want to see the yellow lines. Show waypoints, set waypoints in game. I think that means that's what makes it so that it affects the actual game. You could turn on prefer safer route and less secure route at your leisure here. And you could hear it was actually changing it, I guess, in the game. So use jump bridges is the one that I had set, and that was screwing it up because it wasn't doing gate destinations. It was doing jump drive. Or I had used jump drive on, and that meant that you had this jump destination, and I just don't want that. I'm not at a level to have any of that going on. So I would turn those off if they're on, and if you're finding it's hard to just... Because I was setting my destination and it would be just one jump, and I was like, what? What I want is to see all the steps I'm going to take when I take gates. So turning off use jump drive and use jump bridges is going to make it so that you use gates by default, and that this set gate destination. Because it was saying set jump destination, and the effect was the same in the game. I had my gates, but this wasn't showing properly. Anyway, that's just something I went through. I messed around with this years ago, and so my settings might not have been default. But if you have that issue, do that. And you can do the avoiding systems. And look through all this, like, oh my God, it's so much, it's incredible. But I just wanted to talk about that one. Anyway, there we go. That is my experience of EVEeye.com. That's why, to me, EVEeye.com is a permanent tab when I'm playing. By default, I like to have it on my second screen, but I have it here just in switching apps for the sake of recording this video for you. There's also iPhone and iPad. I imagine there's Android apps, although I can't say for sure. I don't know. But the iPad app works great. Before I had two screens, I had just one laptop screen. It was pretty small. So what I did was I had my iPad sitting up next to my screen on a stand, and I had this running, and it was incredible because I could just reach up and touch my screen, and hold on it to get the set gates destination, and I could see where I was, and I could see the path I had taken, because it'll also show you where you've been before. I'm not going to go fly around because I'm in nullsec and it's a bit dangerous. But yeah, it was incredible. So it works like that. Even if you don't have a second screen and you want one, and you have an iPad or even your phone, although maybe that's a bit small, you decide. Oh my God, I forgot the other thing I wanted to say, which was all this incredible information you can get about the system you're looking at. So if I'm looking at PC9, I have it set to show different stuff, and these are a bit inscrutable, but this is, so if I turn them off and have nothing, right, it's kind of confusing why even have that. But it's so that you could control what you could see. So you can see environment is one of them. Okay, I'll just ignore that. Celestial, so you could see the planets and stuff. PI, you want to see for your all your industrial planetary interaction stuff. That's right, planetary interaction. And I'll open a few just to show you that the point is you create your own little buffet of information you want to see about each one. So you can see here, it can do signatures, although I think it relies on you to sort of copy and paste them like it says here, which isn't ideal. But the agents, that's nice. So I could see the agents in PC9 on all the different, in T22, and that can help you do that. You can't right click on them, but you can warp to them. Okay, you could set your in-game waypoint to go to that specific person. So if I wanted to go visit your Wald, oh, I can't, I don't know why. Oh, okay, yeah, I could set it here to go to your Wald's Itaki Syndicate Academy on planet 612. So, wow, how about that? So closing down the agents. Oh, oh yeah, so one of them is the stations. You can see what's there. That's really useful. DSD distances. So yeah, that's your how far you are from different places, and it's got all the defaults. Oh yeah, because that's that's just showing all my bookmarks, I think. So it has Gita and Amar because those are my bookmarks, but I could remove those. Like for example, remove bookmark Amar, filthy slavers. I know what I mean. And yeah, so that'll remove from there, and then but you can see my own personal favorites here, like Stackmon, and how nice, right? How nice. And here's the other one, activity. This is like sort of excruciatingly useful. This is another way of seeing the same information that I was showing you here as the label, but you can go to a specific place and say, okay, over the last 24 hours, how many jumps, how many NPC kills, how many pods, and how many ships have been killed. And so we could see that that's when things are happening. And am I in PC9? I want to look at PC9 to see that, yeah, actually we just had some 2 days ago. 2 days ago, yesterday. Okay. Oh, and it doesn't have, I happen to know there were some, oh no, ships. That's right. 2 days ago, yesterday, 23. Anyway, I'm not an expert on exactly how to read this, but it's another way to figure out when you look at the 24-hour number, right? So there were 10 kills, but when were they? Were they just now, or were they very, very recently? And there you go. So, and then sovereignty and signatures and right. Okay, that's enough of that. Point being, oh my God, look at all this information. It's incredible. I can't believe this is a free tool. I can't believe they don't just make it part of EVE Online because it's so great. Anyway, that's me. I'm Jer. That's EVEeye.com. I recommend it. If you enjoy this trashy little video I made, like and subscribe, or don't. If you're making a new character, use my referral code so I can get my alpha to be a maxed out alpha a little quicker. And I'm probably going to go do some more nullsec ratting because I like the money I make on it. All right, I'm Jer. I love you. Bye-bye.